Hello.
Yes, we're good.
Yeah, very good. Thanks.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Welcome, everybody. It's Val and Roy, and we're here to talk to you today about hollyberry. So,
Hollyberry.
hollyberry
That's
glass.
a happy way.
Is it-
Hollyberry, right? That makes you
Thanks.
happy, right?
It's,
Careful, don't
move too much of the stuff.
Okay.
It could fall apart.
Yeah,
So we were just, I know for us that we're working here at Delphi, right? And so we're, you guys haven't seen it, but we're out in our glass room where we have all of our glass. And I saw this sitting in the bin, and, it's a wonderful glass from Bullseye, and we only get it, one time a year.
Guess
usually
why?
just for the holidays.
It's a bit seasonal,
Yeah,
right?
it's a bit seasonal. And I just think it's such a fun glass, and there's a lot of fun things you can do with it. So we thought, why not just show it, right? I mean, it's never too early to think about making stuff for Christmas.
Because there were several years where it would just sell out, and then people were upset because
they couldn't get it.
November we were out of it. So anyway, that's why we thought we'd bring it to you a little early
because we have some now.
Yeah, we do have quite a bit, I think, don't we? Or no?
We have some.
We have some. Sure. We have some sheets. Yes, we do.
But if you haven't seen it before, again, it's a fusible glass made by Bullseye Glass in Portland, Oregon, and it has this really nice, coarse red frit on the surface, and then the fractures and streamers, green in the background, right? So pretty fun. And then, of course, real smooth on this side, but this side is a little
bumpy. It's a little bumpy.
So it could be a little challenge sometimes to cut it or break it. So we said we were going to show you how to do that, right?
Yeah, you did. You said that. So
I did.
I think you should show them. Show them.
All right, you want me to do that now, or do you want me to show some projects?
I think show it now, and then we'll do the projects, because then you can kind of talk about what you might have to do to knock some berries off,
what you might have to do. That is correct.
Okay, so
good. And of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to message us. You can make a comment in the section below, or you can always send us some message on Facebook or Instagram, or the last one is they could email us, right?
Yeah.
Facebook@delphiglass.com. So. Thanks. All right, so I'm just going to cut it with just normal cutting tools.
Okay,
I just realized
nothing real fancy, huh? What do you need?
Don't have any safety glasses. Where did I set?
Here, you can wear mine.
Glasses. But
I'll get you some.
Val's going to
with my pulled muscle. I'll get them.
Right. Good. So Val's going to track down some, but as we were talking about before, so there is a smooth surface, right, and then there's this side with all of the really coarse frit on the one side. And so obviously we're not going to score the side with the frit on it. I mean, that's going to be too much of a challenge. So we're going to score the smooth side. And like I said, for the most part, it actually cuts you really quite easily. Of course, after having said that, now I cut it, right? I just jinxed myself probably. Oh, nice. You got me the use. Good. Nice.
Kidding you.
All right, I might use these. That's fine. Got a couple pair. I don't know if any of them are any better, but there we go. Right. So following safety protocol, I got some safety glasses on. I'm just going to kind of cut this in half. I'm going to use a glass square. If you're not familiar with this tool, it's pretty nice. It's got a little lip on it here that catches the straight edge of the glass, and so you can cut a right angle. I'm just going to score up along the side here, and then I kind of cheated. So I scored it, and then if you can see down where I've scored it at, I purposely, looks like I avoided any of these red berries, but we were talking about sometimes, so what I'm going to do here is come on with a pair of running pliers, but sometimes you can't get the running plier on there because of the berries kind of stick up, right? So if we look at this like upside down, you'll see that this is where the running plier kind of goes here, and I missed the berries. I'm sure that was totally intentional.
Yeah, right.
But let's say I didn't miss the berries, right? So I grabbed a small little piece because I wanted to show you some of the things you can do. So what I'll do sometimes is, let's say we are trying to break even right here, right, where there's a berry. And if you're trying to put running pliers on there, obviously you couldn't do that. So one trick I tried first always is just grab a pair of breaker grocers and grab it. And if you twist it a little bit, sometimes you can just pop those right off, which of course I can on this one, but right. So
there it goes. I guess
right?
I should put my glasses on.
You can just pop that right off, and then now you could get that. You could get a pair of running pliers on there, right? So that was, I want to show you that little trick. But then I'm going to go ahead and just break this one. Again, this is the top surface that's smooth that I scored that surface. We're going to come on with the running pliers and just break it. So nice, right? So that sort of broke.
Yep.
Great. And this is the other thing that often happens too, is when it breaks. So you can see the clear base breaks pretty cleanly, but sometimes the holly berries, you can see a couple of them are sticking off the lip. And, that could get in your way, right? If you're doing something, especially if this is a stained glass project and you need to foil that or try to set that in lead cane, you're not going to be able to do that with the berries on there. You could, again, use the little trick I was talking about using the breaker grozers. Or a lot of times we'll use a special grinding bit to do that. So the Twofer brand, you can see down here, I'm going to grab one here. You can see what that looks like, not all that expensive. And the bit looks like this. And so what you have are two grooves in there. And then as you're grinding the piece, you can put your piece inside that little, and it sort of bevels the edge for you, is what it essentially does. But it'll bevel down the little berry so that it's easier to get foil on it, or like I said, or easier to put it into the lead cane. I made this stained glass box, and so sometimes when I was trying to fit the two edges together, there would be a berry in the place, and then so I would have to either try to break it off, or a lot of times I just use a grinder to do that.
Grind it down.
You'll see I did leave, like this one for here, I left the berry as close as I could get it on there to the top.
Yeah, but I think the point is that a lot of people think that the berries will pop off.
Maybe
and they will pop off pretty easily.
So these berries here, I ground them and so they're kind of beveled slightly so I could get the foil on there. This is a copper foil thing. But yeah, Val has a good point too. The other thing is just handling this, some of the berries come off. So they just do. You should, see the bins where we have the holly berry, because it's like the bottom of it's got all these red berries in there. But yeah, we save them. I often go back over and save all those because you can just use them in some other project, right? And, I wanted to just show one other little small trick real quick that I do sometimes when I'm cutting the holly berry is sometimes because of the berries, you might find that the glass doesn't sit real flat. It wants to kind of rock a bit. If you're cutting on carpet, that can kind of take care of it. Around here, we get this foam paper that comes, in between some of the sheets of glass that we get. And a lot of times I'll cut on top of this. And so I'll set that on there, and then that little bit of foam just gives you a little cushion so you don't get the glass rocking as much. I notice it when I go with smaller pieces a lot of times, because sometimes, again, the berries you can see are pretty randomly placed on there.
Yeah, so it stabilizes it.
Yeah, it kind of just helps stabilize it.
Good tip.
Is that good?
That's a good tip.
Cut anything else?
I think we're good.
Good.
I think that's a good explanation. It's just like you say, it's just you can't worry about the berries. If one's in your way, pick one of the methods, grinder, chip it off, use your pliers, something to get it off, because it will make a difference if you can't use your running pliers or you can't get the foil around, so whatever you're doing. So fusing is actually nicer because you don't really have to worry about it, because we're gonna melt them, so that makes it kind of nice.
So, we got some other stained glass projects since I started talking about stained glass. Why don't we all finish up with that then real quick? You can see this one here with these nice little angel bevel clusters. Makes a great border. We had, as you can see, Santa kind of behind Val there. So, and
yep,
that's it.
Yep,
so it's used as a background, right? So that's pretty nice. The box that I made this candle holder. And I used, one of the things that I like doing when I'm making boxes is using some kind of reflective glass in the back to kind of help with the flame, the candle flame, right? So what I used here was a glass called ML Walker. It's a mirror. And these are some of the other ones. We even have more than this. I didn't grab all of them because there was a bunch of them. And they come in all these different nice bright colors. And
they're really pretty for that.
You can see the bottom of the boxes.
Yeah.
I usually use the same thing in the bottom just because I think it helps, again, with some of the reflection. So, but since it's a mirror, this is for the stained glass people watching, since it is a mirror, one of the things you have to be careful of is, so this is the mirror coating the back of it, right? And then, so this edge here is a little vulnerable to, if the flux gets to the silver coating, it can eat away the mirror coating. If you've seen it before, sometimes we call it mirror rot, in the stained glass world. So we want to seal that edge. And so one easy way of doing that is with this particular product, aerosol mirror edge sealant, right? And so what you do with this is just spray. So you want to lay this on, what I normally do is I lay this on a piece of paper or something like this flat. So glass side down, and then just spray the edge. And it really dries I bet within 5 minutes it's ready. Ready to foil it. I know I was doing this yesterday, and it only took a minute or two to for that to dry so I could foil it and solder it. But nice.
But it's really worth it. I mean, if you're going to use mirror, because I don't know if everybody's, but if you've seen an old antique mirror, usually you always see that mirror or that silvered coating is chipping away around the edges and
turning
stuff.
black. And,
yeah, so it really does. It's pretty, for how easy it is to use. It's a pretty good.
Yeah, you want to protect the mirror, especially with the ML Walker mirror is not the cheapest glass on the planet. So you want to make sure that it's going to hold up well. The thing to remember with these ML Walker glasses, though, is this one shows it, I think, pretty well. This is hand done, right? So all this kind of stuff on the back, and that's one of the things that kind of contributes, I think, to the cost and value of these pieces. Is a lot of them are handmade. Really quite interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Fun stuff.
Pretty.
So then we have a bunch of fusing projects.
Well, we've got a lot of. I mean, we've got. Well, you've got. Did you want to? That's a stained glass. Did you want to? You didn't put your light in. I brought you your light.
You brought me this light.
It's tricky. Let me show you how it works.
Oh.
Did you turn it on?
I thought I did.
Well,
Maybe I just shut it off.
No, you turned it on. But I was teasing you because it's kind of.
Oh,
it's a little temperamental. Yeah. So I would put it in there, and when it hits the bottom, it turns itself off. But it's.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, that's
right.
Pretty.
Is that ever? Man,
and it goes in there too. It'll go in your fused one.
Pretty.
Yeah, and then I made a fused one. I made the stained glass one. I thought, well, we were going to talk about both, so I made a fused one. This one is 2 layers. This is 2 layers of the holly berry. And if you can see the pattern, I cross them so they you create almost a checkerboard sort of effect in the one corner.
Yep.
And then this was done. I fused a 7-inch square, if you want to know, and we slumped it over this floral former, right? Stainless steel floral former. This one has some of the boron spray on it so that it doesn't stick, so the glass doesn't stick to it, right? See it on my fingers.
Yep.
Fun stuff.
Good.
Oh, the other thing I did real quick, I wanted to, with this particular piece, this is something we have here at Delphi, and these are dichroic flakes, they call them. And so they come on clear, or they come on red and green. There's other colors, and so it's kind of subtle because I didn't put a ton in, but I wanted to put in something that added a little sparkle to it because I'm all about
all about sparkle.
That's right.
Okay, good. So put that.
Okay, put that.
All right. So then this one, I mean, just to stay with the candle situation, right? So this is just a simple, cut. I used a bevel for the bottom. And then I matched the width to the bevel and cut the 2 holly berry strips. And I used UV glue on that particular one. And we have this, right? And then we also have something called rapid fuse, which is kind of like just a super glue.
Like a super glue,
and it actually would work really well, too. So, either one of those things is kind of nice. But those are kind of fun to have, around. And it was easy. So one of the other things we were talking about, too, so if you get it and you want to make a stained glass candle, shelter, cube, whatever you call it, just like whenever we make anything, we have scrap.
Oh, yeah.
We always have smaller pieces that aren't really useful for making anything big, so we thought we would play around and just chunk up our scrap and put it in some of these casting molds. And so I did this, and I don't know if you're familiar with the casting molds. Thanks.
Yep, there's one.
But these also take that boron spray. That's really what we're going to use because, it's just so much easier, no buildup. It gives you the nice full
and it comes
space.
out so clean.
It comes out so clean. I don't think I did anything to these. But so I had extra left over from making like this tray here, and I just stripped it up and then just laid the strips in around the star, and really, 5 minutes. And it didn't obviously take much because these particular ones are pretty thin. But so it's kind of neat that there's always something you can use it for, and I didn't have to mix the frit with it and make the it's just already like it is. And then this one, I found this mold too, and I did the same thing with I'm afraid I'm going to knock this down when I grab those molds. So thank you.
Exciting.
Yeah, that would be. So this, is just same thing. I just cut strips, chunked them up, and fused them in this little mold, and they really, I don't know exactly what you do with them, but they're kind of cute. Somebody strings them on a cord or something, or you could even hang them on the tree, right? Mm-hmm. Which is what I think these are kind of fun for. They're so lightweight, you could just tie a ribbon on it or do
Especially
something.
for a glass ornament, right? I mean,
right.
they tend to get a little heavy sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So it just stays with the holiday, with the holiday theme. I just have to match the size.
Really
but
quick,
whatever.
Susan wanted to see that triangle candle shelter close up again.
Oh, yeah.
Got it connected up here.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the UV glue, you just need a UV light source. That's what cures the glue. And it can be, depending on the light source you're using, it can be 10 seconds, it could be 5 minutes, right, with a UV light on it.
Yeah, it's going to just depend. But it is, like I said, it does look nice.
Show them the box, right?
Show
them the box.
And here's the box. Yeah, this is kind of fun. So the bottom was just, like all of us, we always have a ton of clear. So obviously this is just my clear scrap. But then the lid to the box is, should I show them the mold, Kaylee?
Yeah.
I can't reach. Thank you. So this is the way this goes. Once again, it's a casting, so we're using the boron spray in it. So I just chunked up a bunch of clear and just filled this mold with plain clear. And then this one I did put a little red frit in this indentation, and then just chunks of the holly berry scrap on top. And then, so what happens is, that fuses and makes your top. And the bottom is actually the bottom of your little box, and then you have a little lidded situation. So I just think that's the cutest little.
I'm going to take it off the lid really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're fun, too. Like you said, what a great way of using up scrap.
Yeah, it really is. It's really, and I think you get something pretty cute. Like I have that at home, not that particular one. I made a different one that has a lot of millie in it, and I put my kosher salt. It sits by my stove. And so I think it's, once again, functional art. Sometimes there are things that are functional. So
yeah, which is a lot of these other things aren't they? All these little platters or a little butter dish. Yeah, this one I thought was kind of fun. You can see this really cool patterning here, and that comes from this. There are 2 red ones in there somewhere, right? So, but what a fun way of just adding a little accent to it. And again, what's nice about some of these is that they're not super involved time-wise. So again, if you're thinking, we got these coasters. So if you're thinking of gifts or trying to make something for a holiday party, for the most part, a lot of these things will go together fairly quickly. Even the stained glass projects weren't all that involved. So
well, it's because there's that pattern. You can always sort of try to accent it a little bit with the little things. What do you call these? These little yeah. And twisties. They call them twisties, yeah. The twisties, or cut a little extra glass, or but overall, you're really using the glass that's already decorated for you for the most part. So
fun stuff to work with.
Yeah, it's pretty. So that's kind of.
I think that was about all we had, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Nice.
Kaylee.
Well, thank you guys for watching today. We do have a fun new twist. So the first 3 people to share and comment on this video will get a Delphi swag bag, which will have a t-shirt, apron, Band-Aid dispenser, and stickers. So
wow, that's great.
Go ahead and share this video with your friends, and we'll see you next time.
Next time.
Yep, we'll see you guys next time.